Hello, everyone. It's another beautiful edition of Shagalinku. Welcome to the Tuesday's edition. Okay, we've been continuing in the discussions on 16 days of activism, and over this period, I've had several guests, and this will be the last edition of the series we're doing on 16 days of activism, because, of course, truly on the 10th, everyone will be wrapping up what we started on the 25th of November. So today, if you have followed us on our social media page, the flyers have been out since 2 days ago or yesterday actually, and we're looking at how can we have an all-inclusive approach against GBV and what is the role of men. We realize that a lot of times people living with disabilities have also faced a lot of challenges when it comes to gender-based violence, and very few times are people even looking into that space. We'll also have two guests talk to us on the issues of how men can actually be frontliners in this pursuit. I have with me here Hajia Mairo Bello. She's the executive director of AHIP, also known as Adolescent Health Information Project in Kano. And I have Lady Chioma Kano from the Mama Center, Abuja. And together they will be discussing on this very crucial topic. I really must say congratulations for being our last guest on this series of 16 days of activism. So let me clap for two of you as being the last two women standing. Welcome to the program.
Any prize?
Okay, I have a actually. Oppo, you just said it now. Oppo is sponsoring. Oppo sponsored a few episodes, so I have some umbrellas. So I will use my veto power to give you two branded umbrellas. That is true. I will bring it. I will bring it before the program ends and show you the umbrella. It's true. I will give it as a gift on the show.
Emmanuel, it's not rainy season. Why are you giving us umbrella? Eh?
You have to make provision for the rainy day.
Umbrella souvenir.
You make provision for the rainy day.
Oh, because it's full now.
Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure having you all. So, Hacha, let me start with you. You've been doing a whole lot when it comes to sexual reproductive health. You've also done women empowerment. You've used sports as a way to cushion a whole lot. I know you've been on the show a couple of times too, but let's even assume there are a whole lot of new people who will be watching today. Let's even meet you. What are some of the things we excluded from the introduction? Who is Hajia Mairo Bello? What do you do? And what is the current program you're running on before we even go on to talk about the gender-based violence? Over to you, ma.
Well, Mairo Bello is an education, it's an activist first, actually. Then you can talk about all other things that I do, educating people, asking for human rights, advocating for rights, advocating for human beings, actually, because women may not exist if there are no men, and men may not exist if you don't give them their counterpart as women. We've been doing a lot of programs, and I think I've been in this field for almost 30 years, doing youth uh, development program using different strategies, including sports, including livelihood skills development, including building the self-esteem of women and men, because a lot of young men that take up violence sometimes is due to low self-esteem. And a lot of women that succumb to violence sometimes is lack of self-esteem. So we like to believe that if people have enough self-esteem, they can walk away from violence. They can stop violence. They can even avoid getting into relationships that will end in violence. So this is what we do. And over the years, we've touched millions of young people I can't even count, but we are still counting. And we pray that this goes a long way and that we succeed in developing every young person. Please, my battery is going low.
Are, are you also trying to charge your battery, Lady Chioma?
I
As that.
just don't want to be caught on my
Okay, so let's come back to you. I had to do the first introduction with Hajia Mairo because she wasn't with us last week, Tuesday, when you were also our guest, and we talked a whole lot about a few aspects. So let's get you also started. I know when we did the first part, you mentioned a few things that was really important. In fact, that was why we had to do the part two today and see how it could be. So you quickly also tell us about Mama Center, what you do, the projects you're doing on believing that there are a whole lot of new viewers who will join us today who may not have watched last week when you were here to do the part one. So who is Madam Chioma? What do you do? Any current projects? And then we'll go on to talk about gender-based violence. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for having me today again. Last week was quite exhilarating. In fact, after the 1 hour that I spent with you, I was actually sweating out of excitement. Actually, I was very happy to be in your midst and to be able to say my mind, on the issue at hand. That's the gender-based violence. Yes, so me, I'm just the chief servant of Mothers and Marginalized Advocacy Center, which is based in Abuja. We also have a branch in Enugu. We have a representative in Kano State. Mama Center is a non-governmental organization that is a female-led organization. We work for women, for young people, for girls, and for children. We have done quite a lot during these 16 days of activism, actually, by going to secondary schools to talk to young girls, about GBV and how it's important for them to say what is going on in their lives, to confide in. If they can't come to Mama Center, they can talk to their guidance counselor, teacher, or actually approach their parents to talk about any form of gender-based violence that they may be facing or they might have faced in their lives. We've also done a whole lot with the women from the informal sector, where we convened them and also talked to them, trained them, if you may, on this gender-based violence, got them talking about their own issues and their neighbors, their children's issues. And we find that gender-based violence is actually, it's a whole lot of issues that seriously need government attention. It needs wider audience, many people talking about it, because like it or not, a lot of people are passing through gender-based violence, without having the guts to talk about it. We have also gone out of our way last week, actually, to meet with people living with disabilities, okay, to also enlighten them on gender-based violence, because we even recognize the fact that most of the time, people living with disabilities are even more prone to GBV more than normal people that don't have issues of disabilities. So we actually went to also spread the awareness on GBV, and also promoted our website where they can report issues of GBV, because we take up some issues on gender-based violence, and we have pro bono services from trusted lawyers, that take up some of these issues. We have in Kano State, our lawyer is actually working very hard, in Kano State. And then we also have a lawyer in Enugu State that is also doing one or two things for us on the issue. So yes, we, even where we cannot respond fully, to issues on gender, like to take them to court based on how distant the places from the places of engagement, we can also refer them. We are affiliated to FIDA, Federation of Female Lawyers in Nigeria. We are affiliated to them. We can take cases to them so that they can also help us, with lawyers and going to court and all that. So those are few things that we do under gender-based violence. We also have, in our website, we have a portal for reporting. We call it Girls Hub, where people are advised to channel their complaints, to go and report. We receive those reports and we act on them. The few times, all these times that I've mentioned, that we've been to school, we've worked with women from informal sector, and then people living with disabilities. We got some reports actually since that time, which we are actually working on at the moment. So yes, GBV is something that is very dear to our heart, even though that's not it's not our exclusive, the only thing we do in our organization. We also engage in empowerment for women, because we also strongly believe that women that are highly empowered, at least the level of GBV against them might reduce, even if it's by a fraction. It reduces, in certain areas, it will reduce. So, well, let me just leave it at that until I get my other questions.
Thank you very much, Lady Chioma. This is also to say that we can drop our comments right now on the comment section for our guests, and they'll be here to answer them. We're looking at how we can have an all-inclusive approach against gender-based violence. Hajia, I will come back to you right now and ask you something very important. Choma talked about people living with disabilities. That a lot of times they face a whole lot of not just stigma. It's already there, stigma, and then having to be abused constantly, whether verbal, whether emotional, and all that is what the Nigerians will call double wahala. So for you, what do you think about it? And just recently, you did a program where you brought a whole lot of people who are living with disabilities. Take us through that and let's know how the program went through.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Gender-based violence is not about whether you have disability or not, but it has double jeopardy for persons with disability. In fact, they suffer like 5 times more gender-based violence than other people. Their gender-based violence starts from when they are born. The parents first expose them to that violence, because for mere fact that they have found them with disability, either they start hiding them, or start looking down on them, or start setting them aside, or in fact, the language they speak to them is not the same language they will speak to other children. the person with disability is disempowered mentally and physically, even before they grow up. So their own violence starts from home. And it gets to a point that even the parents hide the children in their homes and don't allow them to come out of fear of stigma and shame. And when they grow up, they still live with this stigma because it's a mindset, a script that society have written for its populace, and they are following it. If you have any disability, then you are considered less than a human being. Not knowing that if you have one disability, you might have double ability in other areas of your life. And I've found out that persons with disability, in fact, have more IQ. I don't know if people observe that. I did not research into that, but just working with them, they can come up with solutions to issues like that off the head. They don't have to go anywhere to tell you what they want you to do or how they want you to do it. They are very intelligent. And now they are resilient because now they want to do something. And for the gender-based violence that have started from home, it transcends the home, gets into the public space, and gets into their matrimonial home, gets into their work, if they are lucky to get work, into the work arena, and it goes on and on. Not realizing that these same persons with disability can actually do a lot. In fact, because of the way they get determined to succeed, you will be surprised at what they are willing to do to succeed in any endeavor that you introduce them to. But because we kill their mind even before they come out of the home, we kill their zeal before they come out of the home. So that person with disability will come out and say, I can't even compete with them because I have disability. Nobody has ever put her down to say, you can try it, you can do certain things, you can go try your hands on it, and you may succeed. These are the kind of things we are. So when a person have grown with that mindset that I'm considered less than other human beings, of course they will start behaving that way. And now we make them to become dependent. We make them to depend on charity. We make them to think that if people do not assist them in whether physically or mentally to think, they cannot do certain things, which is not true. Which is not true. So we need to empower them from when they are toddlers, to encourage them to try things, to encourage them to do things. Even when they have mental disability, you can always try with them. I have seen mothers that did not give up on their children. And today, those children that would have been considered mentally deterred are doing averagely okay, and they are learning fast and doing good things. So persons with disability will suffer like 5 times more violence, gender-based violence, than the ordinary young person. This is what we have seen. And if you interview a few of them, you will weep. You will weep because they will tell you things that you don't expect will happen to any human being. Even when they are married, they are seen as a liability. And people who marry them don't stop reminding them of what liability they are. So how can you live in that situation without always being stressed? So you will find that their stress level is something else. That's why when we were celebrating this day, it was like triple celebration for us. We talked to them about mental health, we talked to them about gender-based violence, and we talked to them about uh, their they and how they can be resilient and how they can build themselves and don't depend on charity. Because sometimes dependency also breeds contempt, it breeds violence. Because when you are over dependent on people, they take advantage of your rights and thwart your rights. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Ma. In case you just joined us, the program is a Tuesday's edition of Shagalinku. It comes your way every Saturday and Tuesdays, 2 p.m. West African time. And today we're looking at gender-based violence. We're actually wrapping up our 16 days of activism that we started on the 25th of November, and it will be ending on the 10th of December. And this is the last episode of the series of gender-based violence that we're doing. And today we have two guests in the house, Hajia Mairo Bello, the ED of AHIP in Kano, and then we have Lady Chioma and Kanu, the ED of Mama Center in Abuja. And together we're looking at how we can have an all-inclusive approach. So you can hear from the points they've been talking about that a whole lot needs to be done. I'll come back to, and yes, you can drop your comments, your questions, your views on the comment section. If you have questions for our guests, please do drop them there, and we'll read them shortly. But let me come to Lady Choma now. Hadi has talked something very important about the male folk. She mentioned where even when people living with disabilities get married, their spouses don't always forget to remind them how they've been a liability and all that. Let's even start with the men now. What are the place of the men in issues like this? Because the truth is, like we said last week on when you were a guest on the show, women don't rape themselves, women don't abuse themselves. It takes their partner who most times profess love, and somewhere along the line they start getting beaten and all that. What can men begin to do to curtail this whole issue of gender-based violence?
Yeah, thank you so much once more, Emmanuel, for the opportunity to also lend my voice again to this angle of gender-based violence. When I spoke last week, I thought we had said it all, but obviously there are even more issues, to GBV than, we have. It's as if we have only scratched, the surface from last time we spoke. Listening to Hajia, I actually learned that people with disabilities actually face even more. I even inferred to it before, but it appears what I was thinking is even a little compared to the kind of violence that such people living with disability face. You know, now coming to the men themselves, I also want you to remember Hajar's introduction when she talked about the attitude. The men actually come from a culture. They come from a society. Their behaviors are formed based on their environment. That is one thing we need to learn, first of all. Sometimes I feel pity for the men actually, because everything we say, it's as if we are making them look like demons. But then again, they are just a product of the society, just like the women that get abused are. Okay, so they come from this society that expects the best out of them, but that doesn't even give them the wherewithal to be the best. Okay, so when they come out from there, they are sort of like confused. They are looking for how to vent or where to vent. Society expects them to go to school. Then you go to school after studies, 4 years or 5 years or how many ever years, whether you are a medical doctor or a lawyer, you have a different number of years. You put in school, you come out, there's no job. Okay, so all those things will contribute to your mindset. Then you maybe you take that next step. Let me just get married, at least let it be that I have achieved something. With all these number of years that I have lived, you marry. The home, there's no economic, financial backing in the home, the woman probably doesn't have anything doing. You don't have anything doing. So what will just be happening? You can just picture it in your mind. What will just be happening in that home? There's a whole lot of anger, frustration, from the man, because he knows that the society expects him to be the man of the house, to take charge, to be the provider, in the home. But he can't even begin to do half of what the society, expects him to do. So he takes it out on the next person that is close to him. He wants to dominate her, to still show her that he is still on top, no matter what situation or circumstance he finds himself. That is the kind of thing we find ourselves in the world that we have created for ourselves. So I talked about stereotyping last week when I was on air, and I think there's also a need for me to also mention it again. The attitude needs to change from the home front. Poor men, some of them that want to actually do the right things by not being violent with their wives, get some names, some derogatory names by the society. They are called mumu, they are called lover boy. You understand? They call them all manner of names.
And woman rapper. Last week you said woman rapper.
Just because you have actually taken time and studied the situation. So, in fact, if you are a man, and you are married, you have a wife in your home, whether the person is disabled or not, you should know that for you to live in peace with your spouse, you have to actually sow that seed of peace. If you are always the one that is always bashing, your wife, causing fights and always beating her up as your last resort, you find that you cannot even have peace. Okay, so you are even better off if you, from the onset, decide to just live in peace. Don't go beating her. Make her happy so that she will be happy, and peace will grow in your home. Okay, you are happier, you function better in a home that is at peace than in a home that you don't want to come back to that home at the end of the day. So which one do you want to choose? Okay, so if the society is giving you all these names that make you feel less than a man, please do not listen to them, because they are not the ones that will come to your home to live in your home for you. By the time they plant that seed inside your head and make you feel that you have to act or behave in a certain way, so that you'll be seen as a man, quote and unquote, they don't know the fire that is waiting for you in your own home. They don't know the kind of thing you're going to pass through in your home. So better advise yourself and take the right course in your home, and not be laying your hands on your wife or your spouse, whether she's living with disability or not. Okay, your home is your place of peace, your place of comfort, where at the end of the day, if you get into your home, you should be happy. Even if there's war outside your home is your place of peace, your sanctuary. So if you cannot make your home peaceful, then you really, really need to go back to the drawing board and get some small things straightened out. Be at peace, don't fight. There's no need for violence. The only way to reap peace is by sowing peace, in your home front. So that is it. I've talked about economic challenge that the man passes through. No matter what, even if you don't have a job, you don't have the wherewithal, it's not enough ground for you as a man to become violent. All right. So, but then what could help? What is it? What do we expect men to do? I've talked about sowing the seed of peace instead of that of discord in your home. I also want a man to, in fact, jettison all that he has heard, or men, Let them jettison all that they have been told by the society how to live this life, and try to do the things that work. You come back to your home, you have a wife, you have children, you know, because you are a man, you do not want to lift broom to sweep, because to you it's a woman's duty to sweep. And the woman has been working in the house from morning till night. She's exhausted. I mean, those children that is in your home, they are your children. So we expect you to actually come down to that level. Do home chores. It will not kill you. You have both hands, just like your wife. You are expected to help out. The woman will be happier knowing that she has a supportive husband, you know, that is willing to, you know, help her, support her in her home. Okay. We also know that, in my own opinion, actually, when a father supports his children, especially the girl children, I believe they come out better. I've followed a few ladies. For instance, Chimamanda Adichie. She talked in her biography how her father was very supportive of her, and how because of the support she got from her father, you know, everybody knows where she has, it has landed her. She, you know, a girl that looks up to her father, you know, that the father actually loves and protects, comes up with a lot of confidence. She is happy. She's willing to face the world. She doesn't see the man outside different from the man that her father has been. Okay, she is not afraid. So we want such a thing to be happening. We also want our homes to be a place where we would bring up our children, both male and female, in that system where there is no inequality. There is no inequality, actually, yes, so that everybody will know that everybody counts, you know, and respect everybody, because they say that a family is a unit of a community. So if you're going to get it right in your family, I believe it will transcend into the larger community, and even to the wider country, and of course to the continent and around the whole world. And that is what we are actually proposing. Let the men take up that mantle and take charge, you know, of their home, the home front, by reducing inequality, by making sure all their children are well brought matters. If a man wants to do his will, I know that in some areas in the country, for instance, they don't have that issue of wife inheritance, but there are some places in the country where a woman, if a man dies, the woman is not even going to lay hands on his property. The siblings of the man will come to take charge of the home of their brother. So if you find yourself in that kind of community or state, better take care of your children while you are living. Take care of your family. Come up with some kind of will to protect them. You know, give your girl children something in your will. Protect them. Any child that is supported, that is well protected and well provided for by you know, her father or her family, comes out into the society a stronger and more confident person. You feel you can take on the whole world, really, as a young lady that is well protected and well supported by your family. So we need such things, you know, happening more and more in our society, in our community, so that we can have a better, you know, peaceful society in the end.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to Hajia now, to answer this, to respond to this comment that I got here on our group. This one is from Daniel Akoji Mills. He says, as we all know, gender-based violence is mostly caused or perpetrated by men to women or female children. Engaging the men or the male child in some role will help eliminating GBV. These roles could be one, gender and gender roles. For example, men should start engaging in house chores that is believed it is for the female child. Two, caring for mother and baby during pregnancy and birth. Finally, three, men's participation in parenting. Hajia, what do you have to say? Because even when Chioma was saying some of the things men should do, Chioma also highlighted on some of these things. So, but if you have any response to Daniel Akoji Mills, Hajia, over to you.
It's true. Gender-based violence can be addressed starting from the home, starting from mothers, starting from families, because we give conflicting messages to our growing children. We bring up the boy to think that the whole world is a football playing field. He goes to school, comes back, and he's outside playing ball. And the girl goes to the same school, comes back, but she is saddled with all the household chores until she goes to bed in the night. So we are giving conflicting messages to both boys and girls. If we engage both boys and girls to do share the work among them and do the work equally in the home, the boys will understand that it doesn't take a woman to have breasts to be able to do household chores, and it doesn't take a man to beat his wife to be a man. In fact, real men don't beat their wives. Real men don't go behind their wives to do things that are not um, acceptable. That's what real men respect their wives. Real men take care of their children. Real men take care of their daughters. Real men don't abuse their children or their wives. Those are real men. Real men may get annoyed, but they don't raise their fingers. They don't raise their hands to their wives. Those are real men. But when you are a lesser man, you think is showing the woman your strength that is acceptable. No, it means that you are a lesser man. It doesn't make you any better man. It means that you don't even know what you are doing. And let's start teaching our children from when they are age 1, 2, and 3 on employing peace and not violence. Girls, age 2, 3, who to touch you in certain places of your body, who not to touch you, who to engage with, who not to engage with. We know that a lot of violence, partner violence, rape, and even domestic violence, is like 90% of people we know perpetrate all these things, including rape. 90% of those who perpetrate rape are people we know. They are family members, they are neighbors, they are friends, they are uncles, they are, you name our relations, any relation you can think of. So charity does not begin from outside, it begins from home. And we need to start training both male and female to know the right attitude to life, the right way to relate to each other, the right way to talk to each other. And it doesn't take anything. The only thing I think it takes is for the woman to be sensitive, for the father to be sensitive so that he can do what is right. I agree, quite all right, that you cannot give what you do not have. The mothers may not have the knowledge of what to do or what not to do. But then we can always learn. People can unlearn and learn the right thing. Unlearning is trying to learn from people that you see doing the right thing and try to purge yourself of your negative attitudes, because it comes with an attitude. And everything we do in life comes with that attitude. Unless we change our attitude towards how we treat the girl child, how we treat the boy child, how we treat everyone. We are not saying that the boys do not suffer from violence. Boys are being raped. Take it from me. Boys are being maltreated. And like 10% of violence is perpetrated by women. So while we are talking, we should also have that at the back of our mind, that some women also perpetrate violence. Both men and women can change. We were not born violent. We were not born with wickedness. We were not born with all these vices. We learn them as we are growing up. And we can unlearn. We can unlearn. I agree that they will ask me, how do I unlearn? We can get ourselves educated. Thank God the internet is full of so many useful information. You can actually type, how do I engage? How do I engage in um, solving gender-based violence? How do I engage in reducing gender-based violence in my home, in the community? If you type that into your computer system or your phone, it will give you a lot of suggestions. Read, read. In my religion, is the first thing our prophet was taught, that he should read. Let's read. If you cannot read, ask questions. Go to centers. Go to centers and please ask questions. You will be happy you did. In fact, it will make you happier when the people around you are happy. It will make you happier when you see your children are listening to you, are happy with you. It will make you happier when your wife is relating better with you. Chioma said it, that if you treat your wife right, you will be happier. I know a comedian once said that, don't give your wife hard time because she will multiply it and give it back to you. You may think she is stupid, but when she gives it back to you, you'll be surprised at what you get. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hajia. He said he will multiply it to Ajara on top of it. It's well. Okay. I'll take a few messages here and I'll let Lady Chama respond. This one is from Obioma Chukwike. Okay, I hope I got that right. It says, nice topic. Happy we are constantly addressing issues of GBV. Lady Chioma, it's even Obioma, it's even almost your namesake. I'll let you respond to that. But I got a very funny one from Ame. It says, he sent two messages here. The first one says, I'm watching you live right now. Keep on doing the good job. Thank you. And Ame responded to Hajia Mairo and said, you guys should buy her new battery. we we have promised to give her umbrella. Don't worry about the battery. Ajay, they are looking for your trouble.
Don't worry. I need it as part of my palliative.
we have it. Okay. Thank you, Ame. Ame and Obiama sent this. I got some text messages here, but I'll just wait for Lady Choma to respond. If we have more time, then I'll read that. I just wanted us to really be exhaustive on some of the things we have. So, Lady Choma, what do you have to say about Obiama's comment? Because the truth is, we're really happy as well that we're able to also talk about gender-based violence. And even here on Shagalinku, we always talk about it all the time, you know. So it's not just about that it's 16 days of activism, because these things is it's like the more we talk about it, the more you are hearing news stories and the more you have the reason to come back and follow up and talk about different angles again. So what do you have to say, Lady Chioma?
I can only thank Obioma for following up with Shagalinku TV uh, all this while, for him or her to know, what Shagalinku is doing on gender-based violence. And I hope Obioma is also learning that if he or she is not already an expert on the topic, and I hope Obioma can channel this discussion, to other people that may not be privy to be following Shagalinku television, so that they too can learn a few things, from the people that have been speaking, and also from Shagalinku TV, who has always kept the issue of gender-based violence on the front burner. I dare say research has actually shown that the media are actually fueling gender-based violence in certain ways by actually, or maybe not gender-based violence, but fueling inequality. Always projecting stereotypes and all that. They always feel that certain reports, maybe on politics, should be focused on the men. Then when you come to fashion, then you start talking about women. Those stereotypes, in fact, events, a lot of things are actually overtaking these things. Look at WTO president, Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I mean, it's a woman that is up there. Look at the Deputy Secretary General of the UN, Hajia Hajia Mohammed. All right.
Amina Mohammed. Yeah.
Exactly, Amina Mohammed. So the narrative is changing, and the media needs to actually be on the front burner of things, so that they will not, drag us backwards. Women are taking higher roles than what it used to be. Things are changing. So I'm glad Shagalinku TV is actually at the front burner of things, actually taking things to a whole new height, which is good. I would also want to deliberate a little more on the role of the kind of things we expect men, to be doing. We also want men to lead by example. We've said it and over that children that are brought up in a peaceful home, they go into the society and actually spread peace. Okay, so women and men that are actually in such homes that are peaceful find themselves, if they are, like, if they get married, they know it's only what you know that you can spread. They don't know violence, so they cannot even spread violence, no matter how hard. If you watched your parents growing up and you found that your father never raised your hand, on your mom, I mean, why would you want to start doing it? It would be very strange, to you as an adult to want to raise your hand to beat your partner or your wife. We also want to encourage women, that's men, for men to encourage women to actually take decisions. I mean, nobody knows everything. You cannot say because she's a woman, her brain is very, very little, she cannot even take decisions in my home. It's better for you to share that thing. You are a man, doesn't mean that you have to bottle up a lot of things and burst in the process. In fact, I've heard this said, and I've actually observed it this number of years I've lived in this world. Men actually die faster. They die like father and mother. It's usually the men that go first before the women, because of a lot of things. They want to bottle up everything. They want to be at the front of everything. I don't know why they feel that need. Why would you have a partner, your other half, and you wouldn't even want, to share in her thoughts the abundance of thinking faculty that God has blessed her with. Also, let her bring whatever thoughts she has to the table, so that you two can move ahead. And you are happier when you find that she has made decisions that were useful, in grooming your home. So always encourage her, support her to also make decisions in your home. And then I also find that in some families, the man wouldn't let the woman to take on jobs. Okay. Oh, for goodness sake, if she wants to take up a job, if she's educated and she has degree and she wants to work, please encourage her to go ahead. Okay, it doesn't diminish you as a man to have your wife working. It does not in any way. She is only supporting you. Most families actually that where the both parents are working, they are actually better off in a lot of ways. The burden is reduced, on the man. Because you are a man doesn't mean that you should now come and kill yourself for everybody. All right, so cool down. You married this woman not just to be cleaning your home for domestic purposes. You married her as a companion. Give her that space to be that for you, to be your friend, to be able to relate, talk to you, bring up issues, okay, that can actually mold your home. Also, we would want men to also project female role models. I know it's usually men role models. Also, project, talk about these issues of gender-based violence. When you're sitting with your fellow men, those who know better, educate the others. Then also project. Let your children know that there are some ladies that are actually doing well in life. Okay, that are maybe educated, even some that are not educated, but that are still, doing very well. Always project that. Let your male children, your female children understand that this can actually happen. That it's not only the men that God blessed with wisdom and everything, that female children also have it in them to be role models and so on. So those are the few things I want to add for now. Thank you.
Thank, thank you very much, Lady Chioma. We'll be wrapping up shortly, and I'll be asking you all to, in 1 minute, have your. I don't know why time always flies when we are enjoying a great conversation and discussion like this, and then you can also see how some of our viewers are also sending their comments. Anyway, let me read this last one before I ask all of you to give us your final word in 1 minute each. Amebayo, a third time around, came up and said, back to your topic of discussion. For my own take, both men and women should know their responsibilities. For example, women should not talk harshly to their husbands, while men should take women as their helper and weaker vessel. I will give each of you 30 seconds to respond to. I think I like all the parts he talked about, but that last part of the weak vessel is the one I am a bit not too clear about it, because we see women being pilots and they drive planes. So, so I don't know which weak vessel we are talking about. Anyway, Hajia, in 30
Are
seconds,
we
can you
talking
respond
about
to
a
this?
ship? Are we talking about a ship? Oh, we are talking about some kind of airplane that the tires are punctured. Let me
So Hajia,
just give you one
respond.
tidbit. A lot of people get their intelligence from their mothers. A lot of people, if not all, get their intelligence from their mothers. So if their intelligence comes from their mothers, how can you now turn and say the women are stupid and they cannot think, they are weaker vessels? What weakness What vessel? I know a lot of men, because of ego, they will not want to own up that they take advice from their wives. I know a man that, because his wife has been bringing up solutions to a lot of problems, he decided that he was going to divorce her because she's too intelligent, she's too wise for his liking. Another one that is wise, each time he has problems outside, will come to the house and just start grumbling aloud. Oh, these people, they think I am a fool. They will tell me this. They say I should do this, I should do that. Then the wife will say, calm down. Why don't you do this? Do X, do Z. You say, I better go, Jare, all that your woman talk. Is that advice he's going to tell people outside? Though? But he will not accept. So the moment the wife discovered that he takes her advice, she didn't mind anymore. He can say anything. So when he comes in with and blowing hot air, hey, they think I'm stupid. You say, calm down now. Why don't you do this, do that? You say, you think that will work? Anyway, that's so women they talk. He will go back and give them the reply. That's how good men are at pretending. Anyway, thank you. But women are as intelligent as their worldview is. A lot of men think they are more intelligent because they get exposed earlier than women. A lot of women get locked up in the house and they don't expose them to the worldview, so they may not know what is happening outside their doorstep. But because the boys and men, they go about, they interact, they come back with that worldview, and you think they are more intelligent. They are not. That woman that you think is stupid can sell you and dash you out of the money she used in selling you. Thank you.
Okay, Lady Chioma.
Yay! Thank you, Hajia. You actually dealt that issue that topic very hard. Thank you so much. Actually, in fact, I am actually surprised that at this time and age, somebody is still talking about women and still talking about weaker vessel. Oh, for goodness sake, time and every other thing, events have overtaken that talk. Nobody at this time and age still refers to women as weaker vessel. We have proven time and time after time, okay, that we are actually not weaker sex. We are not weak. We are not weak. I don't know in what sense they want to even begin. Is it because of muscles? I mean, there are even women that are boxers these days. So if you are talking about muscle mass, or is it brain? No science has actually shown us that men have bigger brain than women. None. I haven't seen any scientific study to that claim. So that one is even not even it at all. So let me go into the other place where she said women should be submissive. I think yes. In the good books, actually, they said women should be submissive, but there's also a catch, and that catch is that men should also love their wives unconditionally, as in so much love should come before that submissiveness, would actually be there. So if you want that total submission, you should show so much love. And love doesn't have any relation with violence. If you love somebody, you don't strike that person. If you love, you pamper. If you love, you provide. If you love, you protect. If you love, you support. If you love, you give. Okay? You don't beat. You don't use beating to show that you love the person. So you can just use yourself as an example. Someone that is showing you so much love, would you not want to work with the person? It's only a very natural thing for you to want to work with the person that is showing you a lot of love. Love begets love. That is just what I have to say about that. You do not reap what you didn't sow. If you put corn in the ground, you cannot reap cow just because two of them are C. Corn doesn't beget cow. it begets corn. If you sow violence, you reap violence. If you sow love, you reap love. If you sow peace, you reap peace. Hajia pointed it out that women are multipliers. You know, that is just it. Whatever we get, we multiply it. If you give us that space to help you, you know, to take some decisions in the home, what you get is abundance. It's abundance. It's a whole lot. So please, away with that thought that we are weaker sex or anything. Events have actually overridden. It's overrated anyway. Nobody is even talking about women in that light anymore. There are many women across the globe, you know, that are making exploits. Okay, the VP, the elect for United States, is it not a woman? I mean, for goodness sake, women have been showing time and time again that they are not weak in any way whatsoever. In any way, in those days when women were thought to be weaker sex, I believe it was in those days that they used to farm for economic purposes, as in use hoe, you know, to be digging the soil, you know. Now, how many people toil the soil? Even farmers don't even use hoe these days. Big farmers go into tractors and tractor coupled machines to do their work. So these days we are living in the day of technology, the days you use your head. Okay, and if that's the case, everybody has brain inside their heads that work, both men and female. We are all blessed with that, you know, gray matter called brain. So you cannot even qualify anybody at this time as weak in any way. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for the opportunity, you know, to speak again on this issue.
So I'll be giving all of you 30 seconds now to do your final word of greetings. If there are organizations, there are partners that have supported you, it's almost end of the year. So I'll be asking each of you to just say a word of greetings to your workers, your staff, or anyone you just want to use your 30 seconds to do your felicitations as we wrap up. Over to you, Hajia.
Well, I will say thank you to all partners, all well wishers, and especially to the staffs that have been with us through.
Okay. I think, hello, Ma. I think you need to do that again. Your line went
Oh,
off. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Saying thank you to every partner that we have worked with throughout this year and every well wisher and those that have encouraged us and have stood by us through thick and thin. And I say thank you to all AHIP staffs and board members that have helped us to move forward in these difficult times. Thank you, and may God bless every single one of us.
Thank you so much, Ma. I'll give Lady Chioma 30 seconds to do her vote of thanks.
Uh, in fact, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Mothers and Marginalized Advocacy Center, I would want to thank, first of all, Shagalinku TV for the opportunity given to us to be part of this great event of 16 days of activism. I would also love to thank all our partners, development partners, The Voice, Amnesty International, Oxfam Nigeria, and many others. In fact, even Action Aid and many others for all the support that they have provided us over the years. We are really grateful, and we hope to see more happening. This period, the COVID-19 pandemic and all, has actually been very, very difficult. But the staff of Mama Center have been there working tirelessly, you know, with so much effort, you know, to make all our activities to hold, regardless of all the challenges that they are facing. I would want to use this opportunity to thank them also for all the effort that they have you know, put up for us over this period. Okay, standing by us and everything and working tirelessly, to project our image. I am very, very grateful to all of you. And also to the viewers, to all the people that made contributions and comments, on the program today. Thank you so much for viewing and also for your comments. We appreciate all of you one by one. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being our guest. I really want to thank everyone who joined this episode of the show, and thanks for all our guests who followed us all through the 16 Days of Activism series that we started on the 25th of November. And here we are wrapping it up with the last series of today. And I really must thank my guests for today who happened to they scratched the bottom part of the whole 16 days of activism, and how best can we end the series other than with these very great minds, very great women who have been in the forefront and doing so well in community work for women empowerment, for children and the society, just to be a better place. I really must thank my two guests today, Hajia Mairo Bello, the ED of AHIP Kano, and also to my second guest, Lady Chioma Kano of Mama Center Abuja. Thank you too for being on the show, and thanks for anytime we call on you all, you're always there to join us on the show. And yes, to our guests, thank you so much. The videos will be here after the show for you to still watch. A lot of times people watch after the show because of the time zone and the country and region zone. So it's always there. And please do drop your comments on the comment section, because 6 hours later we keep saying comments. We'll always forward them to our guests, and if they have response, we always get response back. So please keep your comments coming, and do remember also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Shagalinku TV, so that whenever we come on air, you get a notification immediately we come. Thank you all. That's how we wrap up the 16 days of activism. But Saturday, we'll be starting off something new. You don't want to miss it. And yes, Hajia's umbrella and that of Chioma will be sending it to them shortly. They will hopefully get it before maybe end of the week and all of that. So, well, listeners and viewers, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and saying have a beautiful Tuesday, and let's do it together again on Saturday, God willing. And in the interim, please let's stop all violence of every form. God bless you all and have a great day. Bye bye.